What's going on YouTube? Crypto Matrix here, coming at you another cryptocurrency stream. And guys, Electroneum had that breakout that I was talking about. Just a nice little trade there, guys. Let me know if you took that trade, guys, because you are sitting in some epic profits right now. I hope you took it at the target though, guys, but in reality, like I said, once we enter this orange zone, you want to be looking to take some profits, guys, because this is just a major area of resistance we're dealing with right here. As well as AMP having a massive blast off, guys. 5 videos ago, I was telling you guys that we were going to have a big breakout with AMP pretty soon, guys. And we have just had it overnight. From the point of indication play all the way up to the top is over 76%, guys. And even if you just held till right now, that's over 54%, guys. Let me know if you caught that. And guys, over on the Bitcoin price, we did end up forming that head and shoulders just like I said we would. But we have some new patterns playing out, which could yield some new target projections as well as breakouts. And I want to show you guys exactly how to take this trade over on Bybit. Guys, these are pretty wild times in cryptocurrency. Man, I can't express enough. We have patterns playing out board wide. I could go over like 14 coins today, guys. There's just breakouts forming. I'll be very transparent. It's basically just a bunch of horizontal and symmetrical triangles. But guys, my gosh, if we don't start to put in some higher highs and higher lows, we're going to roll over again, and then some lower times are definitely underway, guys. If you're not subscribed yet, definitely smash that subscribe button, smash that like button. I'm going to dive right into the price action. And if you haven't signed up using my links, you can save up to over $7,000 in bonuses just by using all of these links right here. And be sure to follow me on each of my social platforms. I do crypto-related information that is pertinent, time-sensitive on each platform that you guys just can't miss. All right, guys, I think the first thing we're going to start out with is AMP. And man, what a breakout out of this symmetrical triangle here. My gosh, guys, just some massive percents. Even from the point of breakout to the top was all the way up at 64%. And at the current status, around 43%, guys. Just in a massive trade. And a whole bunch of patterns. Then patterns which yielded this breakout to be a reality, guys. Let's just talk about that real quick. I'm just going to draw them all out real fast for you guys. Okay. So I'm going to do all the measurements, and then I'll do all the target projections right out of it. My gosh, guys, it was just a field day for AMP in the last few days. Just amazing stuff. It doesn't get any better than this, guys. It's really nice when you have moments of just pure profit in the trading field. So lots of interesting stuff going on here. And then this is probably a double top right here, very clearly. Okay, but a very dirty point of support. Okay. So that's where a lot of times you're going to get some kind of motion like this. For instance, again, I always talk about the overbought and oversold times. So definitely be an oversold time. For instance, we went down and retested the 200 on the 15-minute and just got a nice little bounce back up. So literally what's happening right now in this coin is we're retesting this support level, and we're either going to break down further, basically retest the 200, or we will get another bounce. And, you know, we could even form a triple top. There could be many more patterns. We could even form like another channel or something. There's a lot of stuff going on here, okay? And then you could even go down to the smaller time frames, guys, and really get even more patterns within patterns. But let's just deal with the medium-sized patterns for right now. So this is what we're working with. And let me just show you guys all the target measurements here. So measured from the back of the wedge, okay, to the point of breakout. Guys, that's a perfect target hit right there. Same thing here. And guys, when you're doing these little micro trades, just lock in your profits. That's what the whole point of these is, because these are fast trades, smaller time frames, okay? A lot of people are always asking me, when should you be taking your trades? Well, it really depends on the time and the relevancy of your pattern, okay? So if you're in a bigger pattern, your target projection will be much further out. If you're in a smaller pattern, your target projection will be much quicker. And guys, just for the reference, there is more patterns right here. I'm just talking about, you know, it's kind of the medium-sized ones. For instance, when you're on the bigger time frames, for instance, like the daily, you have bigger patterns. And when you go down to the 4-hour, same patterns are there, but you can start to see smaller patterns, and so on, all the way down to the 5, even down to the 1 minute. I don't go down to the 1 minute too much though, guys, just for transparency, but in general, you could definitely do that. Okay. Now this one's very interesting. This is just so dirty right here. To be honest, it's hard to tell whether you should just kind of count that as oversold and just measure it like that. But just the way the whole thing moved, I mean, you almost have to pull it all the way out to there. But like in reality, guys, there's no way to really fathom that is not overbought territory. So this was one of those measurements which just had a massive run up with volume. Okay, so for instance, the target projection right here. And what do I always say about alts, guys? They're going to give us some curveballs. Okay, so that's exactly what we're looking at right there. I mean, look at this movement, guys. Come on. Look at this volume. Look at the moving average. That is just the volatility of crypto in the alts coming right out. I've been talking about it for my last several videos, guys. There's the prime example right there. Anyway, we pumped way up. Again, we go down to the 5 minute. Just briefly, I want to show you that, guys. And you can really see there's even smaller patterns within. But let's just go back to the 15 minute here. Okay. Right into this double top, guys. And now we're waiting for either, it looks like we're getting a bounce as we speak. As you can see, we got a little bit of green coming in right here. And if more volume comes in with confirmation, for instance, goes above the moving average with the green bar, we will start to bounce back up. But if not, guys, we will break down. And in simplicity, if we break this support here, I'll be looking for a short. And then if we actually break above the 20s on the EMAs right here, specifically 0.072, I will be looking for a long position or to just get into another position there. Okay, let's move right along to Electroneum. Okay, guys, so this is Electroneum here. And let's just talk about what we're working with right now. So in my last video, I said we were going to have a big breakout out of this channel. And guys, that's sizable. Look at this. This is nice. So the indication was right there and here. But even out of that, almost a 10% move, guys. Any leverage there, that's just incredible. Let me know if you caught this trade in the comments. And guys, here's what led up to it. Okay, so we definitely had some really dirty patterns here, guys. I'm not going to lie. These are dirty as hell. And to be completely honest, textbook-wise, they wouldn't even be considered patterns just by how broken they are, okay? But that's what I'm talking about. The volatility of crypto is not going to yield us these perfect patterns that, for instance, something like, I love to use gold as an example because it's been around a long time, everyone's heard of it. You know, it has a sizable market capitalization, and of course it has stability in the movements, more predictable patterns, okay? When you have something like an altcoin, you know, in its infancy stage, hasn't been around very long, under 10 years, for instance, you're going to see a lot of volatility. I like to say they're curveballs that are thrown at you in the price action. That's why I always steer my students towards main coins in the early stages. Yes, the alts are a lot of fun, guys. They really are. But when you're trying to learn, you really want a solidified knowledge base. Okay, so for instance, yeah, we had an inverse head and shoulders here, but look, the point of resistance is just not very clear here. Okay, so for instance, the first thing I would have seen would have been something like that. Okay, but then there's this big moment of overbought territory. I mean, my gosh. And then, you know, the EMAs are just distraught. I mean, they're all over the place here. So it's really hard where you would actually draw that line. And I think I would almost actually draw it. I mean, I guess just like I had it. But to be honest, guys, I mean, so dirty. That's the point. But we did have all of the indications in combination with volume to lead up to it, okay? So right now, we're kind of just in a consolidation after a pump phase. As you can see, guys, people just took profits right out of that trade. Price went right back down. And guys, like I said, we need to get a reversal on this coin to get back up on schedule, okay? Remember, like what I said in my previous video, that if we keep putting in lower lows and higher and lower highs, excuse me, that it would be classified as what's called a sinking ship. Now, when I say sinking ship, guys, I mean, it doesn't mean the project's dead or anything. It's just a classification in the terminology, okay? This means it's going down for the short term, or at least sideways, okay? So remember what I said about the project. You know, once we hit our trigger way back, you know, way back off the page, we could be in for a long sideways motion, okay? So that's something that is anticipated, guys. Just be very patient. And as you can see, we are still moving down right here. We could end up even back in this channel, not that it's completely relevant, but could kind of end up back down in this area as well. Okay, but let's move right along to Bitcoin, guys. Just for transparency, Electroneum is going to have its day. Just be patient. Just be patient. There's going to be many opportunities coming. Okay, guys, let's talk about Bitcoin. This one is pretty exciting. Some interesting patterns. And guys, I did call this head and shoulders here. And again, pretty dirty. And what's interesting is we kind of had that moment where we could have broken out, but we got supported by supports as well as the 200 EMA. And then, guys, we formed a couple new patterns here. So let me just draw them out for you. Okay, so for one, we do have, okay, a symmetrical triangle here. I'll make this white. All right. Tighten that up a little bit. I'm going to leave it a little wide there. Okay, so that's one thing that we have. And then we have one more pattern which is jumping out at me. Now, for instance, the reason I'm not just kind of extending the head and shoulders is because I just think it's too dirty on a main coin right now, so we're just not going to make it relevant. There's a new pattern forming out here. So for instance, we also have an ascending wedge. Okay, so just for transparency, guys, you know, here's what I'm looking at. There could be a few things that could happen here. We could tighten up in this channel and then get a breakout probably like right here. Or we're just going to kind of break through right here and break out to the upside, in which case we will get a leg up there. Okay, remember what I said when we break this plane. And look how it actually played as a nice resistance. That's the point of what I was saying, guys. If we were to actually break that shoulder, it's a good longing opportunity. Okay, because at that time, we were only right here in the price action. Okay, so I didn't know about any of this yet. So that's why I gave you guys that call there, saying, hey, if we break this support, go short. If we break this resistance, go long. Because I knew that even if we formed a shoulder, that would, you know, form that pattern out. And if it didn't actually break, we would form a new pattern, in which case, you know, I'd be reporting about it, obviously. Here I am. So that's exactly what I'm looking at, guys. And for instance, there was a lot of little patterns in here. I mean, one jumping out at me is just a little double top there, okay, or inverse W there. So, and then that target yielded right down to the bottom of this pattern there. And that's how you actually take the patterns within patterns to even form your medium-sized patterns, guys. I can't express enough. When you're doing technical analysis, I love to say cross the road for a reason. You know, you start in the bigger time frames, go down, work back. That's so you can get a very clear picture of things. If you're just on one time frame, guys, you are not getting a clear representation of what's going on in the immediate. And then just for simplicity, guys, when you're playing an indication, for instance, always combine everything you have with volume to get a clear read. But just for what we're looking at here, if we break this support, okay, I'd be looking for a short. If we break this resistance, I'd be looking for a long, and you could ride it up to this resistance or this resistance, depending, and then watch for the volume down below to see if there's a pullback coming or a reversal or something like that that's going to indicate that you should close your trade, guys. And that's exactly how I will be tackling this moving forward, okay? And when we get a breakout out of this pattern, that's another example of the sweet spot happening, guys. So just if you're taking a pattern play, that will be your opportunity there. But guys, just remember what I always like to say. Breakout plays and indication plays will always be easier than a pattern play, especially in the early days learning. And guys, that's all the time I have for today. These are pretty wild times in cryptocurrency. If you want to discover your financial freedom, head right over to the website right now and get signed up for the student program, guys. I cannot stress enough. The students are just crushing it. Something you just have to experience to understand. Guys, remember, if you don't come from a rich family must come from you. With cryptocurrency, I make it as easy as riding that wave. I am Crypto Matrix. I'll catch you guys later.
Audio Jungle.